wrong have they got it? Really badly, so badly that there is a subtitle to this session and to the book. And that is, what if the little Ofsted knew about cultural capital was entirely wrong, confused with another concept based on an utterly inadequate reading of the field, and therefore a useless patriarchal knee-jerk that serves only to confirm that evidence-based education is generally just a marketing device with which noticeably talentless consultants can sell you damaging nothings. It wouldn't fit on the cover. Now, there are opposing views to this idea of mainstream culture. The one could say, as now Keddy does, that it becomes a euphemism for saying that working class and ethnic groups have cultures which are dissonant with, if not inferior to, the mainstream culture. And Hirsch outlines what he feels to be the civil ethos of America. And this is where it gets kind of quite interesting. So this is kind of the American value system that the mainstream culture embodies. So this is the kind of environment that we're getting these ideas from, because the best that has been thought and said comes from the son of Thomas Arnold, who actually attended this school and will have witnessed some of these practices. Now, Thomas Arnold is regarded as the most important head teacher of rugby school in their history. And he was actually quite an educational maverick. He introduced cross-year group form groups. He became regarded as one of the most famous head teachers in the country. He is regarded to an extent as the beginner, the founder of pastoral education. But he also came up with this notion that infests our schools currently. The idea that the building of character is important, and specifically that sport builds character. But you've got this table up here, and I'd like you to just do it a column at a time and just go through. And legitimate basically means high. It's another word for high culture or ruling class culture. There's middle brow culture and there's pop culture. So just go through them first of all and just rapidly go, right, which one would I assign? So what is cultural capital? It's a means through which the dominant class pass on the right to economic capital in misrecognized forms. It's a hidden form of transmission, okay? Now, if we look at these two somewhat stereotypical guys, now, yeah, I apologize. You've got Terry and Tarquin here. Now, there are three forms of cultural capital. There's embodied, objectified, and institutionalized. Now, we'll look at objectified first, because that's quite easy. Objectified cultural capital as disguised economic capital. Banks have actually got vaults, which they describe as swag vaults for objectified cultural capital. See what you think the initials stand for. So the swag vaults contain so banks actually make provision for the storing of objectified cultural capital. Tarquin was born into advantage. The worrying thing with the cultural capital is not whether it's to make Terry more Tarquin, it's whether it is to make Terry think that Tarquin is better than him. Now, clearly, we've seen that of the two of them, Terry's the more admirable figure. You've got 9 people there. I just did counting there. I'm not good at counting. 9 people who are all someone's daughter or someone's son. You must see if you can identify them, identify their famous parent, and then third, and this is fun, identify which of them are famous for nothing, either have no discernible abilities at all, or if they are a model, which is more or less the same thing. When you teach kids Aristotelian rhetoric, one, they can use it against those that would seek to dominate them. Two, they can analyze the political speeches that are used to dominate them. And three, they can start calling into question from a position of knowledge, this idea that the people in charge of the dominant culture are their intellectual superiors. So there is a way that one can do this where it is emancipatory, as opposed to just a crushing act of the dominant on the submissive. Push it left field in the terms of the more disordered forms and the more formalistic forms. And that left field act is by nature subversive. So we're teaching anarchic forms, but in so doing, we're teaching them the means through which legitimate culture distinguishes itself from the rudeness of popular culture.